Greetings folks. It's been since the summer of 2018 since I have done a video like this. This being me taking the most recent laptops that I have covered and just sit in front of the camera for 20 minutes talking about them. There's no cuts, there's no edits with the exception of this. That is all you get. My raw thoughts and experience straight through, uncut, unedited. If you're interested in that, well, have at it. Greetings folks, this is Bob of All Trades. It's not very often I get three modern gaming laptops at my disposal and I want to talk about them. We've got the Lenovo Y740, the Gigabyte Aero 15, and the Asus Zephyrus S. We've got an RTX 2060, an RTX 2070 Max-Q, and an RTX 2080. This one comes in at around $1,600 to $1,700 before any sort of student or military discounts. This particular Aero 15 comes in at around $2,400, and the Zephyrus S with a 2080 Max-Q starts at $3,000. And these are all very unique in their own right, and I just kind of want to go over a lot of the pros and cons. So the Lenovo Y740 I bought out of pocket. And this is a really, really good gaming laptop. It stays nice and cool, and the 8750H is power throttled thanks to Lenovo setting up their BIOS, and they configured this very well, and it keeps things nice and chill. It only lets the CPU pull 60 watts when it's being loaded by itself, 45 watts when it's being loaded with the GPU. Everything is very cool, and it's very quiet, tame, easy laptop to manage. The fact that it also has a G-Sync display, you can also disable that and use NVIDIA Optimus switchable graphics. Unfortunately, regardless of that, battery life, maybe 3 hours, kind of at best. I think most people are going to get 2.5, maybe 3 hours, typically. The 230 watt brick in this is massive. So, all in all, this laptop has a lot of great features, however. We do have G-Sync, you do have the opportunity to have the switchable graphics, the port selection is great, you get Thunderbolt 3, plenty of ports in the back, including the LAN ports. It's easy to open, but out of the three, it is, how do I want to say this? It's the cheapest built. By no means are any of these things cheaply built laptops, but of the three, this is definitely the cheapest one. It does creak a little bit, or has developed a creak when you happen to push on this one corner over here, kind of intermittently. It's a little bit odd. So the hinge on this is a little on the soft side, and I would be worried about longevity. I like that you can use this laptop docked. Out of the three, it is the only one that you can actually use with the lid closed, and you can plug in your external monitor as the exhaust will intake the air from the bottom and push it out the back, and there's no need to have the lid open. It does not starve itself for air. So very simple, modern design, and I do like that. But when it came to be using this laptop as a laptop and not a docking computer station, it was very difficult to use, as the macro keys on this particular laptop are on the left-hand side, and what that did was shift the keyboard itself to the right. And that meant ergonomics were very challenging to get used to, and when I was reaching for the escape key, I'm hitting this Lenovo Vantage button, and I've probably did that 50 times in the last 3 weeks of having this. So that's definitely a little bit odd. I would prefer the trackpad to be larger and just get rid of the dedicated buttons, as this laptop does scream a very nice business look at this point. So what I would like to see Lenovo do in the future is take these macro keys, put them over here, shift the keyboard over, open up the size of the trackpad, remove the dedicated buttons, at least add 50% capacity to the actual battery, and I think we'll have a winner here. Competitively priced given the specs, but the cons on this machine, I think a lot of people are just going to refuse to overcome. And it really is a shame, as those cons stick out like a sore thumb, because what this laptop does good, it does really great, to be honest. So with that said, the storage in here is a little on the lackluster side. You get a single M.2, which is an NVMe. This one came with a 256 gigabyte, and then there's a 2.5-inch drive bay that is empty. And that means you're definitely going to want to, sink some more money into this thing for storage. But again, because of that 2.5-inch drive, there's really, no room for a bigger battery. I would rather than pull that out, stick a bigger battery in here, and start with a 512 gigabyte storage for starters, minimum, and then maybe offer a terabyte solution. Even if that meant upping the price on this, I think it would put it in a lot better competitive bracket. Or maybe offer what this has already and then make the SKU that I was simply suggesting. Now, with the Gigabyte, I have been using this laptop for probably 7 weeks now. And it's really, how do I want to say this? Open my mind and more importantly, set the bar, set a certain expectation that I have out of a thin and light laptop. You've got a 94 watt hour battery. I could get more battery time with this thing unplugged than both of these laptops combined, okay? 94 watt hour battery. I got a 2070 Max Q. This is the warmest running chassis out of them all, but this is not a gaming laptop only. It is literally classified as a gaming and professional based laptop. It does a really good job of being those things. I love the keyboard. The trackpad is my favorite out of all three, hands down. All of these use Windows Precision. Some people like the number pad, some people don't. It is nearly a must-have for me, so I'm going to gravitate towards that. The overall look on this, in my opinion, is the most subtle, and the fact that I could take this in my basement on a Friday night, use it for an hour or so after my son goes to bed, and then leave it down here, work all day Saturday, come back down here Saturday night, and pick up where I left off and still have several hours of battery time left. That's pretty nice. And yes, I could have easily just ran this up to my office and plugged it in, but I don't have to. And I love that. That's a fantastic feature, and it's unfortunate that more laptops are not doing this, especially as we approach the 9th generation of Intel CPUs. These bigger batteries, in my opinion, are what is missing in most of today's, thin and light gaming laptops. The port selection on the Gigabyte trumps both of these, absolutely. It has everything that the Legion has. It also has an additional USB port as well as the fastest card reader you could have. And as a content creator, that really is, it's a must-have. It really is a fantastic thing to have. And this is also why a lot of YouTubers, when they use a laptop to create content, many of them gravitate towards this. Now, I'm not going to name any names, as I don't want to compromise their ability to make a video later on down the road stating, well, I left the Gigabyte blah, 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 and I'm using XYZ because of ABC. But a lot of people use this. You can count on that. And as far as I'm concerned, I would like to be one of them. This is a really nice laptop. And as somebody who probably 1/5 of the laptop's running time is spent gaming, the other 4/5 on just typical things, whether it's Skype or doing what I do for work or editing video or unplugging it and using it in the basement, hanging out with family, whatever, I can count on this to do all of these things. Maybe the jack of all trades type laptop. So when it comes to just overall flat out uniqueness though, the Zephyrus S takes the cake. It lacks in port selection. The 60 watt hour battery is good for probably an hour and a half or 2 hours, despite it having NVIDIA Optimus. The shortcomings on this are trumped by an amazing build quality. Seriously, if I needed to use one of these laptops as a self-defense weapon, this is the one you are going to want. This thing feels so good and balanced in your hands. Absolutely premium. I like the way it feels when you open it up, as it has this magnetic clasp that allows it to stay shut and it doesn't flop around in your hands. This top part here is completely opened up to get intake ventilation. The keyboard and trackpad, very unique. I was really hesitant on this and I did not think I would be able to get used to it, and it felt natural. And it felt natural very, very quickly. So I was very pleased. I don't know if I would honestly daily drive a laptop like this because of its shortcomings, but what it does great, it should be very proud of. It's 0.62 inches thick and it has a 2080 Max-Q and an i7, and it actually is thermally more efficient than this Gigabyte. Now mind you, this Gigabyte is bone stock. We have not done any thermal paste reapplications on that. This is liquid metal, but still, okay? This is pretty impressive for what this thing is form factor wise, and that's very unique. All three of these laptops feature, full HD, 144 hertz panels, and they all come in at around 300 nits. They all come in at around 98% standard RGB. They're all absolutely gorgeous. But this is a weird laptop to recommend because of its shortcomings. If you don't need long battery life, great. But a lot of laptops out there do what this thing does already, so now we're just looking at price wars. What you can get for a bang for the buck may exclude this altogether. Let's say this laptop still comes in at the best bang for the buck. Will this power supply do you in, being that it's monstrous? Probably not. Really wasn't that big deal for me, even though it is a gigantic power supply. Something to consider. But should that deter you from purchasing this laptop? If you said yes, I might have to say, that's kind of weird. Really? Tell me why. But the keyboard, man, that is really, really hard to get used to. I like the keys. I like the key travel. The RGB on this with the Corsair iQ is really stunning. It's actually fantastic. Probably the best RGB between the three. But using this thing, whether it's gaming or typing, you are completely shifted over to the right in what you are used to doing, and reaching for the escape key and where everything is at ergonomically changes so much. And what blows my mind is that getting used to the Zephyrus S keyboard, which is completely pushed forward, and the trackpad over to the right, this was a much easier to use keyboard than this was for sure. And at my age, developing muscle memory for trying to adapt to this keyboard, I feel is going to take a little bit longer than somebody, let's say, in their 20s. Then, so be it. If you can get used to it, you can justify the cons on this, you're going to have a great time because the pros are spectacular. But you got to remember something. I bought this machine with my own money, and I am comfortably telling you that the things that I don't like about it, I can't live with it. By the time you watch this video, this will be gone. Literally tomorrow, this gets shipped out. I have sold it. I just can't live with the cons on this. It drives me nuts. I'm sorry. Now, could I daily drive this laptop? Probably not with the battery life the way that it is. The port selection is a little lacking, but I never really found myself in need of the things that it didn't have, which really surprised me. Gaming performance, holy crap, it is absolutely impressive. And I really respect and admire the fact that this sort of hardware can be put inside of a chassis, thermally capable thanks to HID's liquid metal application, combined with Asus deciding to shift the keyboard to the front, opening up this air intake, and then opening that bottom lid when you open up the laptop. It's just a very unique culmination of things that help keep this thing thermally in check. And I was very pleased and proud that I got to use this thing for several weeks. And it's just a very unique laptop. The shortcomings are very clear. And if that's going to be an issue for you, stay away from it. But who's this laptop for? If you want the thinnest laptop that's built incredibly well, that packs a punch, and if you get it through HID, have them liquid metal it, and it just runs pretty darn cool, then this is your machine. This is very neat, but one of the RAM DIMMs is soldered on there, meaning RAM upgrades, should you desire dual channel, means you'll only have one DIMM slot to upgrade. This was a sacrifice necessary in order to not compromise the thermal efficiencies. There's not a lot of room to work inside this laptop. Should you desire repacing this on your own, I can assure you, I could take this laptop and this laptop apart twice in the amount of time it would take me to dismantle this once. This is a little bit more challenging. It's not the hardest laptop to deal with, but you are going to have to dismantle it quite a bit. The motherboard is not flipped, but there's ribbon cables that you're going to have to overcome and a few other things, and I'm confident that if 50 of you dismantled this, probably 5 of you are going to damage something. It has nothing to do with anyone in particular. It's just the likelihood of it happening is pretty good given just how difficult this was to dismantle. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably about a 6.5 or a 7, and these are about a 1.5 to 2. So very unique laptop, but the upgrade capability is a little lacking, and this is just due to the design. I've got a single M.2 NVMe drive in here, 512 gigabytes, and as a content creator, that is way too small. I would have to remove that and replace it with something bigger. So for me, the shortcomings mean this is a no-go. But if you wanted this laptop, then you should know why. You want something thin, you want something built incredibly premium, and you want it to haul some serious butt. And this will do that. But when it comes to the jack of all trades, and I don't mean to sound like a shill here, guys, but this is a really great laptop. I get that 94 watt hour battery. It comes with a terabyte NVMe storage. It also has an extra M.2 slot, which is also getting 4 lanes of PCI. I put another terabyte in there, so I have 2 terabytes in this laptop, a 94 watt hour battery, an i7-8750H, and a 2070 Max-Q, all in something very elegant, relatively thin, and it just works. Not to quote something lame from NVIDIA, but this laptop suits me. Is it the coolest running machine out there? No, it's not. Is it the most pizzazz and fun-looking machine out there? No, but that's also why I like it. It's just accommodating to my personal needs. I have no problem recommending this to the right person, just as I have no problem recommending this to the right person, but I can recommend this to more people that I know than I can these two. And that makes it very easy for me to feel comfortable using this every single day. Makes it easy for me to feel comfortable recommending this to a wide variety of people because it is such an accommodating machine. And given the specs and its competition, it's actually priced right, okay? Its closest competition is the Razer Blade. Razer Blade comes in at a little bit more expensive and it's lacking in storage features. Not only that, I cannot add another M.2 should I desire. This is pretty accommodating for someone like me. I will put links in the description below for all of these. I love all of these in their each own particular way. Yes, I wish we had the performance in here crammed into this, and I wish we had the thermals of here crammed into that, or a nice hodgepodge mix of the best of what all of these things do crammed into one. But as far as what these things do, pros and cons, this one wins for me every single time. And if I recall correctly, I'll put a link in the description below that I do believe a Newegg exclusive and Gigabyte have a deal where you can buy 2 of these things and get a really good discount. Like 2 of these normally would be around $4,800, and I think it's like $4,200 or $4,400. You can save some money there. Again, I'm not affiliated with any of this stuff, so I'm just being honest with you. Links in the description below for the Lenovo store, student discounts, and military on this. You can get a really sweet deal, and perhaps you can land one of these for like $1,200 or $1,300. If you can, do it. This one here, Newegg, has some really great deals. I'll also post a link to the Gigabyte store. Again, no affiliate links here. No one asked me to make any of this stuff. And if you're going to buy one of these and you don't buy it through HID Evolution and you don't put liquid metal on this, good luck, okay? Because there's already a forum that's been started talking about this laptop, a forum in which people have stated, this is a great laptop, but you gotta put that liquid metal on there. Once you do, she is zigging. All right, that's gonna do it for now. Again, by the time you watch this video, this will be sold, and that's gonna do it. And oh, by the way, I would love to do more videos like this, but let's be honest here. I don't know what laptops I'm gonna have at any given time, okay? This one I bought, these are review units. This one's gonna go tomorrow. Who knows how long these are gonna be here. Different things come and go. So I know you'll probably have requests for, hey, compare the this, that, and the other thing, but those are really difficult things for any tech tuber to overcome and provide. And all right, that's going to do it for now. Thank you very much for your time.